gently lucent Tao, mysterious and transcendent beyond all words and thoughts, elegant and refined, magical and dreamy, and yet practical, flowing through the earth like the crystal waters of Chinese mountains, dancing down the scroll painting in fluid twists, turns, and even leaps, and following the ancient silk scroll, saffroned with age, down past the skyline, mystically siren past the dancing mountains and waters that seem to fade in and out from the background, merging into misty nothingness, down to the foreground where a tiny bamboo hut sits in the grove, lending shade to the bearded sage there. Hello, my friend. At the beginning of his book, The Way of Tea, Reflection on the Life with Tea, Aaron Fisher delicately described the mystery of Tao, or the Way, which is called Dao in Chinese. No matter how difficult it is to grasp the image of Tao, it can be understood from a Chinese philosophical perspective as a mystery of the physical and metaphysical world. The truth is that the ancient sages believe that no matter how worldly or spiritually one's aspiration is, the way to achieve one's goals remains the same. In this chapter, we're going to explore the world of tea, helping you to understand the essence of the way of tea, which is believed to be indebted to Chinese philosophy, including Taoism, Confucianism, and Zen Buddhism. According to the Chinese legend, the invention of tea was attributed to the divine agriculturist, or father of agriculture, Shen Nong. One day, in 2737 BC, when he was sitting under a tree, a leaf from a nearby shrub fell into water he was boiling. To his big surprise, the water turned to a pleasant amber color. Shen Nong took a sip, as he always preferred to test new things on his own body, as he usually did with his acupuncture experiences. He found the slightly bitter drink very invigorating and refreshing. Ever since then, tea has been deeply woven into history and culture of China. During the spring and autumn period, Chinese tea was only used for medical purpose. It was not until the early Tang Dynasty that it became popular as a beverage. It's interesting to note that Chinese character for tea, cha, originated from a similar character to a typical of bitter taste herb. Around the time of Confucius, tu was regularly used in funeral offerings, and later on it served for its medical purpose until the Tang Dynasty, when the Chinese character cha was created. These two Chinese characters confuse easily. Many Chinese teas serve as an embodiment of nature. They may have names suggestive of nature, such as green snail, green bamboo leaf, clouds and mist, sweet dew, purple bamboo shoot. Among these beautiful names, Guzhu purple bamboo shoot, produced in Huzhou City, Zhejiang Province, is outstanding not because of its fresh tea leaves slightly purple and the back of the tender leaves like bamboo shoots, but rather of its top-grade tribute, which was described as a first tea by Lu Yu as early as the Tang Dynasty. Lu Yu is represented as a sage of tea for his contribution to Chinese tea culture. He's best known for his monumental book entitled The Tea Classic, the first comprehensive work on cultivating, making and drinking tea. In his book, Lu Yu remarked, the fundamental nature of tea is unpretentious. It is believed that it is a true nature, just like how the way is perceived. Making tea represents the ordinary mind, the mind of attentiveness and the mind of peace and tranquility. Tea can be examined from the perspective of Zen Buddhism, which encourages one to pay attention to the small details in life and try to understand things intuitively. To achieve a Zen mindset, repetition and mindfulness are very important. If you lose the spirit of repetition, your practice will become quite difficult. It can also be greatly informed by two native religions or philosophies in China, Taoism and Confucianism. In Taoism, each and every phenomenon of life is equally important, no matter how big or small it is. A famous dialogue between Dong Guozi and Zhuangzi goes like this. This thing called Wei, where does it exist? Zhuangzi said, there's no place it doesn't exist. Come, said Dong Guozi, you must be more specific. It is in the art. As lower thing as that, it is in the panic grass, but that is lower still. It is in the tiles and shards. How can it be so low? It is in the piss and shit. When Zhuangzi, one of the renowned Taoists, observes that we are one with all things, he provides an insightful recognition that each and every unique phenomenon is related to every other phenomenon within one's field of experience. So we may perceive that drinking tea is a moment that is being shared with the universe. The way has a presence in the tea, in the person, and in the universe. It is mythical, as depicted in the Taoist piece entitled Dao De Jing. The way that can be spoke is not the internal way. The name that can be named is not the internal name. The nameless is the origin of heaven and earth. The named is the mother of myriad things. The unity is said to be the mystery of mysteries, the door to all wonders. The culmination of the tea ceremony is manifested in the lives of Confucian scholars, whose understanding was that the balance of heaven, earth, and man is not to be taken for granted. The activity of each affects the others, but it is men who can make the way great. They believe that men with true sincerity can help develop the nature of things. They can then assist in the transforming and nourishing process of heaven and earth. This he does through rites. In Confucius' view, observing the rites and showing deference provide the necessary foundation to govern a state. With proper ritual, harmony can be established. Thus, rather than being restrictive, rituals assure harmony, self-realization, and ultimately freedom to live well. When Confucius said, one should be inspired by poetry, be established by the rites, and be perfected by music, his intention was obvious. The essence of the rites is to help develop the betterment of a person, which is exactly the core object of Confucian teachings. Today, throughout China, in restaurants, it is common to customers to be served with a cup of tea, though it needs to be paid if it is of a good quality. Chinese tea houses are also popular, They're public places where people gather to drink tea and have generally developed into a place for public entertainment as well. Among them, Sichuan tea houses are most recreational. Traditional Sichuan tea houses use red copper teapots, tin saucers, teacups with covers made of Jingdezhen porcelain, tuocha, a bowl-shaped portion of compressed tea leaves, and tea room keepers who are an expert at all manner of work related to tea. Like other Chinese arts, the art of tea is delicate and lovely. It seems to be tender and simple, but it is strongly symbolic and profound. Seeking to understand one's own nature through the way of tea is nothing other than pausing all of one's various thoughts and concentrating the mind focus on a single endeavor.